Hello everyone, this is Indu. I hope you are doing well. This is the second part of our video. So let's start. Here we can update the method. Firstly, we can get that record by ID, and you can see when we fetch from the data we are using here await task and await we can use, and here we can use a lambda expression to get that record in a database by passing this ID. It will get the first record, matching first record from the database. And so here we can write existing, that we change existing dot name, because here we only take a two fields. We make this simple so anyone can easily understand. So country dot name that we pass in the update. Mm. And after that, we can use a save changes async. Now we also use a await because we are saving the changes in the database. So when we are saving any changes or get any data from the tables, so that time we are using await. And here we have to clear this inner line number 46. We have to write if existing equal null. If it's null, then return null. And the last is delete. Delete by id. So firstly we can find that record by id. So firstly we can get that record variable country and is equal. Here we also use a await because we are fetching that record from the database context.country first or default async. This is also very important question, like what is the difference between first and first or default. In first it will fetch the first matching record, but if no record null value, that time it will give the error. But in a first or default it does not give any error, that it also handle the null values if there is not any record in the database. Here we can write await context dot save changes saying and return true. Here we can choose the controller and go to API, and we can choose API controller and click on the add button, and then we can give the name of the controller, like this is a country controller, so we can give the name country controller. So here we can use the dependency injection. So rather writing all the code here, we can inject here interfaces and call all the method that we can write in the service. So we can write here private read only I country service and country service. After that we can make a constructor and inject this service. So this is also very important question, like what is the constructor? So constructor is a special member function which is automatically called when we create an object of the class. Public and country controller, and here we can inject this service. So here we can use the HTTP GET when we get any data from the database. That time we are using HTTP GET. So here we are also using a sync, and we are using HTTP put when we want to update data, HTTP delete for deleting the data, and post for when we add the data. So here we are using I action result interface. So it will return like return okay, return bad request, return not found. So firstly we can make a method for get all. So so here we can call the method that we make in the country service, and we can like pass the values like that we get in a query, like in page number, page size, search term. So here we can call method that we make in the service, and here we can use a dependency injection, or you can say dependency inversion. Rather than writing all the code here, we can call the interface. And here return OK and return countries. Next one is a HTTP get, get by ID. So here we can pass the ID, and we task I action result. Here we are using action I action result interface because it return a multiple types like a return OK, return not found, return a bad request. Like if record not found, then it return a not found. La. And if that ID not found in the database, that return a bad request. So here variable country we call the get by gateway ID method that we make in the service. So here we can, why we like we can follow the solid principle. We can do a separation of code rather than writing all the code here. So you can see here, if country is equal to null, then we can return not found. We can return country. Next one is a post to add country in the database. Creation result and add. Here we can choose a from body, and here we can give the country name. Here we can give the class name. So here we can get the data in the request body, like when we run this APIs, and in the request we can pass their value, like country. In a country we have a one two fields like ID and name. We can pass only name because ID is auto generated, and we can call the method like add a sync that we make in the service, and after that we can return that product, that country we can create. So here we can take return type created action, and we firstly we will call the method get by id, and when it record is created we can call, like we can pass that id in the get by id, fetch that record. After that, yes, we can pass here. So when we add anything in the database, that time we what we can use HTTP post. When we want to get anything, that time we are using HTTP get. And when we want to update anything like any field, like in a name, you can change the name. That time we can use the HTTP put method. And here we can update by ID. So that's why we are passing here ID. So here we can pass the ID into ID. In the request, we can pass that country, like we can change, if we change the name, so we can pass that in the request body. And here, if that ID is not found in the database, that return bad request. Like we are both in the parameter, we can pass ID and in body. So if both are not matching, that time we can give a bad request. I can show you when we run this API. And here we can call the method that we make in the service, that is update async and return. So here if not any updated field, that time you can give this error return not found. Like that ID not in the database, that time we can show here not found and return okay. So this return type we can get with the help of I action result. So I action result is the interface that return multiple responses. Like you can see here, we can return not found, return bad request, return okay. So this will happen with the help of I action result. The last one is HTTP delete. When we want to anything we want to delete, that time we are using HTTP delete method. And task, wait, here also we can call the method that we make in the service, and if result not found, then we return a return not found. And if found, then we return a that result. Like that ID is deleted, true or false, basically. Because in the interface we can take this whole result. And here we can register the service that we make, like I action, I country service and country service we need to register here with the help of add scope. This is the type of dependency injection. It also very important in .NET interview. So we have a three types of a dependency injection. First one is add singleton, add scoped, and add transist. Here we can use the add scoped, and it is like provided by .NET Core. So every interface we need to inject here, register here in program.cs file, because this is our main and starting file. So here I am getting error. So we need to add the namespace first. So here you can see our country CRUD APIs like get, post, get by ID, put means delete, put means update, and delete means delete. So firstly we can add the record. So we can remove here ID because ID is auto generated. So we don't write here. If you not pass anything here, so it also works because ID is auto generated and primary key. And so like that way, this is the country request body, and we can pass this our API, and API will add in the database. So here you can you can add any like by default we can set here page number 1, page size 5. So if you want to go through a directly, like you have a 50 record, directly you want to go in a fourth page, so you can give a page number 4, and you can give the size like 5, 10, and in such term like you can search by name, like any name you can write here and get that record. So you can see here it, because we don't have not we don't have not too much records, only 2 or 3 records, that's why it's showing. So you can see here, so we can take a page size number only 1, so it will showing only 1. And if we take a page size 5, so it will show 5 records. And U means alphabet U, you can see here UK and USA, so that it will get the matching records, first matching record related to this. So when we write a UK, so it will only get only one record. So like that way searching and pagination is working in .NET Core. I make this like project very simple so anyone can easily understand. And like that way you can pass ID here, inquiry here you can pass the ID and delete that record, same exact input you can update that record. Like in 3 you want, like you if you want to change the name, so you can write here and it will update that record in the database. So you can see in the ID3 it updated that record. Like, for example, here we want to delete where ID is equal to 3. So you can see here ID3 is automatically removed from the get all method. So we can make only one table, that is the country. So you can see here that name we can give in the application DB context, like in a DB set, that name will be created here. Like we can write that here, like countries, and here name is countries. So you can see here only showing one, two, and fourth, because three ID we can delete that ID, that record. So this is a like CRUD operation with the help of pagination and searching in .NET